Am I the asshole for not backing down on my daughter's teachers calling her the proper name? My daughter, Alexandra 14 female, hates any shortened version of her name. This has gone on since she was about 10. The family respects it, and she's pretty good about advocating for herself should someone call her Lexi, Alex, etc. She also hates when people get her name wrong and just wants to be called Alexandra. She took Spanish in middle school. The teacher wanted to call all students by the Spanish version of their name provided there was one. So, she tried to call Alexandra, Alejandra. Alexandra corrected her and the teacher respected it. She had the same teacher all 3 years of middle school, so it wasn't an issue. Now, she's in high school and is still taking Spanish. Once again, the new teacher announced if a student had a Spanish version of their name, she'd call them that. So, she called Alexandra, Alejandra. Alexandra corrected her, but the teacher ignored her. My daughter came home upset after the second week. I am not the type of mom to write emails, but I felt I had to in this case. If matters, this teacher is not Hispanic herself, so this isn't a pronunciation issue. Her argument is if these kids ever went to a Spanish-speaking country, they'd be called by that name. I found this excuse a little weak, as the middle school Spanish teacher actually was Hispanic who had come here from a Spanish-speaking country and she respected Alexandra's wishes. The teacher tried to dig her heels in, but I said if it wasn't that big a deal in her eyes that she calls her Alejandra, why is it such a big deal to just call her Alexandra? Eventually, she gave in. Alexandra confirmed that her teacher is calling her by her proper name. My husband feels I blew this out of proportion and Alexandra could have sucked it up for a year. The school has 3 different Spanish teachers, so odds are she could get another one her sophomore year. Am I the asshole for refusing to share my huge inheritance with my stepsiblings? So I 17 male found out only a few weeks ago that my dad left me a lot of money in a trust. Like it's such a crazy amount that I didn't really believe it at first, but it's true. The reason is my dad had inherited from both his parents already. He also inherited from the only 2 uncles he had as well, and one of them was very successful and had a business. This was all explained in a letter my dad wrote to me. He had the trust set up before he came into most of the money, but when he found out his cancer was incurable, he decided to put it all aside for me once all medical bills were paid off for him. My parents were separated but not legally divorced when my dad was sick, died, that they weren't living together or a couple for a year. This was 10 years ago. My mom found out about the money because she read the letter he sent to me about the issue. Then she insisted she was joining me to meet with the lawyer to discuss this. When my mom learned about the money, she told her husband, and suddenly, the money became a very touchy subject. I can't touch it until I'm 19 with the way my dad set it up, so I have some time to deal with this, but my mom and her husband want me to share the money with my stepsiblings 14, 8 and 7. The money is enough, or even if I pay for college and buy a house I would have money left. The way the trust works, I was told it's also getting interest, which my dad had intentionally set up. My mom and her husband have struggled financially for years. They started dating when his youngest kid was 1. His wife had died. He was going through a legal battle with the mother of his oldest, and his oldest is in therapy for trauma caused by their mom. Also, his youngest was born with some medical issues and has lots of doctor appointments. Between everything, money was tight. We live paycheck to paycheck, and I worked to make my own life a little more comfortable, but we had no college savings or anything before this. My mom and her husband drained their own bank account to keep a roof over our heads. This has all been brought up to me as a good reason why I should do this. My mom told me it was selfish for dad to put it all away solely for my future, and he should have been thinking about raising me as well. She told me I might not call her husband dad or his kids my siblings, but we are a family, and that this family has been through so much together and we have struggled for so long that it would be so good and generous for me to do this. I told her it's not like I can access the money now. She said no, but when I do, I should set up accounts for my 3 stepsiblings so they have a better chance at college, and, if not college, the chance to have a help start in life. Despite all their trying to talk me into it, I said no. I told them I wasn't going to share the money. My mom was so mad, but it was nothing compared to how mad her husband was. They told me to quit being selfish and start acting with compassion. Am I the asshole for bailing on my best friend when she scheduled her surgery on my birthday and wouldn't reschedule after I asked her to? So me, 38 female, and my best friend 39 female have been friends for 26 years. We have had similar medical issues throughout our lives and I suggested a surgical procedure I had done and her doctor agreed that it would benefit her too. So she gets scheduled and told me was scheduled for my birthday. I was shocked but kept my cool and I politely asked her to reschedule for another day. This was told to me on July 17th, 2023. My birthday is October 16th. There was more than enough time to make arrangements for another day. She said she needs me to take care of her after surgery, but I have annual birthday plans with my family who are coming into town, specifically for my birthday. I personally think it's rude and I find it selfish. I know I sound selfish, but I would never schedule surgery on her birthday because in March 2023, she scheduled her ablation surgery on my mother's birthday, which was and still is an emotional day for me as my mom has been gone for 17 years. I want to be there for my friend, but I don't think I should have to put my birthday on hold either. I get one day a year where I get to go out and enjoy my friends and family all together with me. She never comes to my annual parties anyway due to her addiction recovery and triggers alcohol, and I respect that, and we always do something else aside from my annual get-together. My parents are flying in Sunday night and leaving Tuesday morning. They have an entire itinerary planned for the day, and I told them about her surgery and they too said to ask her to reschedule. It's not major surgery, it's not life or death. It's a common female procedure that can be pushed back a week. I have no issue helping her during her 6 to 8 recovery period. But why didn't she reschedule? Why is she like this? So am I the asshole for not being there on her day of surgery? Am I the asshole for refusing to babysit my niece? My brother and sister-in-law say they caught me on the nanny cam not watching their child, then working instead. I don't know who all they told this to, but it got back to me. What actually happened is, I was asked to babysit last minute and I said I had scheduled work meetings and deadlines, but since I work from home, I could come over with my partner and take care of my niece. I offered for my partner to watch her with my supervision. Brother and sister-in-law agreed to this and I sent several photo and video updates of niece having a lovely time playing with my partner, who is really wonderful with children and always so sweet to my niece. I was horrified that family, friends and who knows else was being told that I was not properly caring for my niece. I communicated my limitation in advance, but they completely left that detail out and made it seem like I blindsided them. I decided to let myself cool down from this frustrating circumstance and then sent a message to my brother and sister-in-law saying that I love my niece, but I no longer feel comfortable caring for her on my own because of the way that things have been communicated and, in my opinion, seriously misconstrued. This meant I'm no longer on the list of people that can be called last minute to watch her or pick her up from school. Brother and sister-in-law then started telling family members that I don't want a relationship with my niece and I'm taking out my anger on her. They also said that I am depriving her of a safe person to pick her up if something comes up. My parents stopped to them, and my brother then says that they also caught me yelling at my niece on the nanny cam. I know this isn't true because she is a perfect angel every time I watch her. She's truly the sweetest child. Never have I even had a reason to raise my voice at my niece. My parents were immediately suspicious of this accusation for the same reasons above and knowing how I am with children and my niece in particular. They asked if brother and sister-in-law had confronted me about this, to which they said no because I will just deny it. Terrence then said, "What does a resolution look like to you? Because we are not sure how to help without understanding what you want." Brother and sister-in-law replied that they want an apology for me taking my name off of the list of people that could watch their child, then to be available to watch her again. Am I the asshole for refusing to babysit my niece? Am I the asshole for abandoning my children? I, 21 female, have 2 children, an almost 3-year-old and almost 1-year-old. I am planning on joining the military after my youngest is weaned. This has been the plan since before my husband and I got married. My husband is also in the military and our plan is to transfer both of our G-bills to our kids, so they'll be set up when the time comes for them to go to college. However, joining the military will require me to leave for 8 weeks for basic training, and I have been getting a lot of criticism from friends and family saying that I am abandoning my children and that I am going to scar them by leaving for that amount of time. I am having a really hard time with this because I just want what's best for them, and since I hadn't worked in 3 years, I see this as being the best way to set all of us up in the long term, but I feel awful about leaving my children. INFO. Our children will be staying with my husband, and he is non-deployable, My tech school is at the base where we are currently stationed, so I would be back after basic. Both my husband and I will be in non-combat roles. It will be roughly a year from now, so our kids will be 2 and 4 when I leave. More info. The reason this has to happen more or less now is because we will only be at this base for 3 or 4 years, so waiting until my youngest is older would extend the amount of time I'm away from them. Please leave your comments down below to any of today's stories. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.